Hey everyone! If you're enjoying the coverage of the Pro Play Tour online series, just remember, you can play in one yourself. Every Thursday you can enter our free weekly 64-player tournament with invites to the entire Top Cut. Every Saturday is our weekend championship, where you can enter a YCS-type event with 100% payout and even a cash payout option. The more players, the bigger the prizes. Can't commit time to play in our one-day events? We also host multiple 8-man pods daily, ready to fire on demand on your own schedule. All these events award invites to our free invite-only Players Championship, May 9th through 10th, with prizes supplied by our sponsors. For more information, visit ppgeventmanagement.com and come play with the pros.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the top four of the Pro Play Tour Weekend Championship. I'm Alex Simo, joined by Mr. Joseph Rothschild, and we have for you one of two feature matches that would be the same matchup no matter what. We have Ryan Yu, aka Karamno, here in the blue, playing Adamantipator versus Victor Lee, playing Eldritch with Auroradon. And Auroradon Eldritch is the breakout deck from this event. This is a deck that a few people were experimenting with, Joseph Rothschild being one of them, and now this deck just seems to be everywhere and completely dominating this event.
So we're going to see a start from the Adamantipator player with a card that you may not be familiar with. Tenyi Spirit. Oh god, I'm going to mess this up. Sathana. It's just a free special summon. It's a 4-star monster. And if a face-up normal monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon that destroyed monster. Of course, that is never activated, but no big deal. We're going to fire with the Adamantipator Analyzer, and I believe that's a whiff?
Is this like the Caster's Curse? How many whiffs off of these Analyzers or these Adamantipator cards have we had?
The good news is the addition of the Tenyi Spirit means that we'll be able to go into a Gallant Granite no matter what.
Yes, and then Gallant Granite will be able to fetch us Block Dragon or whatever card we need to fix our hand here. Before going into that, though, we are going to special summon this copy of Adamantipator Seeker just while we have these cards on the field. Then we can go into the Gallant Granite. We're going to see if this effect resolves here. Victor playing some cards to potentially slow this down. We're going to see if he has a response. He has about 3 different options here looking at his deck list to be able to do something if he wants. Looks like he's going to let it go, though, and Ryan Yu is going to get that Block Dragon.
And the Block Dragon has made it into the game. Oh boy, how do you feel about this card, Alex?
I feel like it should be banned personally. After it's, I think a lot of people feel that collective sentiment as well. Was that a whip on? Oh no, we have a Doki Doki there. Okay, so Doki Doki going to be the hit off of Seeker. One of the things with Block Dragon, I think that's so frustrating, and we've talked about this numerous times throughout the tournament, is when you're able to use it on your opponent's turn to be able to like link it away with Masquerena at like quick effect speed and generate the advantage like that. That's when this card starts to be very unhealthy. The card is like already pushed to an insane degree, but then when people find ways to use it like this, that's when the card is just absolutely not okay. But we're going to see a Doki Doki pitching a Go 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 Gigas to get Quackimiru Guardian to the board. That's just going to insulate from the from any sort of hand traps at this point. Now we're going to go into Crystron Needle Fiber or Hali Fibrax using the Seeker as well as the Gallant Granite since we no longer need it. That is going to allow us to get a copy of O-Lion from the deck, or I guess Jet Synchron as well, but O-Lion is going to be the card of choice here. And then we can just pretty much go off and do a Adamantipator things. We know this. We've seen this plenty of times. Link Ross is the new addition to the Adamantipator board, courtesy of Eternity Code. Probably the newest card we've seen the most this weekend, Joseph, unless you have another one in mind.
Yeah, Link Ross definitely is the breakout card of the format. I know a lot of people were excited for the new options given to different decks in Eternity Code, but it turns out the card that finds its way into every single extra deck is probably better. I will let you in on this, chat. These two have some powerful banter that you're missing by in the chat window. So far, Yu has called Doki Doki a rock toilet, and proclaimed himself the Chain Burn Master, which is maybe true.
I was going to say that probably will be true considering he won Worlds with it. But now we're going to go see a Synchro Summon of Adamantipator Raptite. We hit a couple targets here, a Guardian, a Dodo Dwarf Go 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 Glove, a Doki Doki. Dwarf Glove seems pretty nice here. We have Gigas and Grave, so we're going to go for a second copy of Guardian here. So just again, we just want bodies. It doesn't even matter at this point.
And that whiff off of the early Adamantipator just doesn't even register over the course of this combo. Just about getting everything you want regardless. Here's the Savage. I
Yep,
like that
Savage.
for a week, people were putting Savage in defense mode to play around Lightning Storm, and now as people have realized Lightning Storm is not very good against either of the top two decks, they've just stopped.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to equip this Crystron Needle Fiber to the Borreload Savage Dragon, give it a couple of Boral counters. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I mean, Ryan Yu might be aware of what Victor Lee is playing by this point. So just based on that, he might change his plays a little bit here. We are going to special summon this Block Dragon out of the graveyard, though, by banishing 3 of our Earths. Oh, from the hand, actually. So he didn't even need to use. Oh, no, excuse me. It was in the hand because it was added off Granite. Excuse me. So I thought it was already in the graveyard for some reason. So we're going to link off that, plus one of our Quacky Mirror Guardians, and go possibly into Union Carrier here, perhaps? And so there we go. Appaloosa, 4/4 with 4 link worth of material, so it's for 3. Excuse me. We're going to use the effect of Block Dragon now. We're going to get a copy of Researcher, we're going to get a Gigantes, and probably a Seeker. Just reloading on cards, just so powerful. Now we get to special summon our Researcher. Go digging again. We whiffed, actually. So that's not too bad. You got to feel pretty good if you're Victor there. Again, you already are staring down a pretty devastating board, but nonetheless, it's still not the worst.
So all we have left to activate this turn is the Seeker effect, right? First, we're going to go for a Weeping Idol. This is a 4. I think we're likely to see the Herald here.
Yes, Weeping Idol, a card that some Adamantipator players have opted to play. You just get to summon it by banishing a tuner monster from your graveyard. It's a level 2. Yep, it's literally just fodder for this Herald. It's also another summon, I guess, if you're looking for link material. We made Herald of the Arclight. So at this moment, we have 3 monster effect negations, an Omni Negate and Destroy. And we have a Omni Negate. We have a... well, that's it. So that's 5 negations right there. And then now we get Masquerena as well. We can banish 3 more Earths in our grave for Block Dragon because I believe we have just enough. So then we have a Unicorn Disruption in addition to all of that. You couldn't really ask for more if you are Adamantipator.
Nope, you could not, and it's very frustrating. Like you said, the powerful part of Block Dragon, of course, is the +2 that you get when it goes to the graveyard, but it gets even worse when you have access to it on both players' turns.
And so now Victor's going to have to navigate this. No disruption. He alluded to potentially being able to stop a play in the early stages of the combo. So maybe that was like a potential infinite impermanence. Maybe it was like Ash Blossom or Effect Veiler. There's a slew of cards it could potentially be. So we're going to have to see here.
Chat, for those of you asking how the Boral was summoned without a tuner, the card that Martial Metal Marcher synchro summons is considered a tuner.
I still love how that card is playable now.
And that's a concede out of Victor. Okay.
Yep. Still looking to earn your invite for the free Players Championship on May 9th and 10th? Visit ppgeventmanagement.com to learn about the different qualifiers available. From one-day events to play-on-your-own-schedule events, all events offer a buyback or cash option along with a 100% credit option redeemable towards any future pre-order at competitive prices. Grinding and getting paid to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Has never been easier. Play with the most professional worldwide tournament series today and join the online community. Come join us on Discord for assistance, info, and even discussions about future events. For those of you wondering who are just joining us, what the top 16 was comprised of, there was 7 Eldritch variants, 6 Adamantipator. We had 2 Madolche, which both unfortunately lost out in top 8, and then 1 lone dinosaur player, which unfortunately lost in top 16. But it was cool to see them make... Yep, it was cool to see them make that far, though, and they do still get some prizing, so that's awesome for them in this first Eternity Code tournament. So, Game 2, Victor's opting to go first, as I would imagine. Eldritch wants to go first. He is on just a suite of cards here. One of them is a playset of tuning, which he happened to open. This will allow him to get access to Jet Synchron and effectively do an entire Awardon combo in and of itself. Maybe we can get a Lucky Mill here off the tuning, and there's a Scarlet Sanguine.
Best one in the deck. Come on.
So now you get to basically replace that. So it's like tuning plus you in a way. Jet Synchron's going to go ahead and use its, not use its effect. It's going to get linked off for a Link Cremo, presumably. We're going to bring back Jet Synchron by discarding a card, and that gives us Needle Fiber access, and then we can just go into our plays.
Tuning here gets you access to Borreload Savage Dragon, but it's also Foolish Burial Goods. I mean, you can't really get more powerful than that. O-Lion to the graveyard is a little more frustrating because it's part of a bunch of the combos, but I believe this deck is on 2 copies.
Victor is on 2 O-Lion, correct.
Yeah, so it shouldn't actually be the worst thing in the world.
So here we go. Needle Fiber hits the board. We're going to go ahead and summon. We get the token off of the O-Lion that was sent to the graveyard. We're going to see just how far he can go with this. He does also have the Scarlet Sanguine for towards the end of his turn if he so wishes. Going to grab out Despot 001 here, and here we go.
So from here we get to go into Auroradon, summon 3 tokens, and then summon the 001 from the graveyard, having met its summoning condition. You've got 3, 6, 9, 12 worth of star lines, and a 1-star tuner with which you can make a Herald, or go into any number of plays before using Auroradon's second effect and comboing further. Looks like his opponent is thinking this is the last possible time you can Nibiru.
Okay, and so here we go. Auroradon and token are gone. This is most likely
going for the Olion first. The patience on the Nibiru might have paid off, but if you're boarding into Nibiru versus Eldritch, you're already in a pretty sorry state.
Okay, so we're going to use the effect of Auroradon. We're going to tribute itself as well as one of the tokens to get the Olion to our field by special summoning it from the deck, and then it looks like he's placing it back now, making sure that there's no.
What we want to do here. This is a hard call to make. You've got a lot of synchro lines, so Herald it looks like is going to be first.
Yep. So now we have protection from anything that Ryan you may have, and now is this Savage? Yep.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Savage plus Herald is a fantastic number of negates for a deck that already plays about 18 trap cards on its first turn.
So we're going to equip the Auroradon now. That's going to give Borreload Savage Dragon 3 Boral counters, which all represents negations, not destructions, but just negations. One of the cool interactions about Borreload Savage Dragon in Eldritch specifically is that if you have a Golden Lord in graveyard, you can send the Auroradon to the graveyard to summon Eldritch, and Borreload Savage retains those counters. So just a good way to make value off of a card that otherwise wouldn't really be doing too much. During the end phase here,
cool.
We are going to go for Scarlet Sanguine, banish that, get a Conquistador, set 2, and pass. And this is the new Eldritch end board. It's a lot more scary than just, Golden Lord, set 4, pass.
Right. Provided one of these set cards is a Scarlet Sanguine, which I think there's about 100% chance that it is. We're going to be able to pop. We've got the Macro Cosmos on board. We've got the Borreload Savage on board. 2 negations, a destruction, and a follow-up play of the entire Eldritch deck. I mean, this is about as good as it gets, and it has been done in a way that insulates it against Sphere Mode, Dark Ruler no more to an extent. I mean, it's a good board.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we've also seen some Link Cross extension in this deck particularly as well. We didn't see it in Victor's combo specifically, but there is some players, I think Dennis, our other Eldritch player, is.
It looks like we're entering the battle phase. Just cannot play at all under Herald of the Arclight. One downside to this card is that it has 1,000 defense, and while you can protect it pretty well with Conquistador and Eldritch, you often don't want to.
And so it looks like that might be what happens here. Seeker declaring an attack. Arclight is going to hit the graveyard, so that's unfortunate.
And here's where you activate Herald's effect in order to get Saravius to your hand. Catch everyone doing that next week. All right, Seeker time. What do we find?
Assuming that resolves.
Yeah.
Yep, it looks like we're going to fire off Seeker. We hit nothing.
Whoa.
Wow.
Quit hitting tuners. It's miserable. Oh, man.
Victor just laughing it up in the chat. I love it.
Ryan Yu has had maybe the worst luck of anyone in this tournament in terms of hits off of the Adamancipator reveals.
So here we go. We're going to special summon Researcher now. Researcher will have a chance to excavate. All right. Let's see if we go again. Okay, there was a... Okay, we have a Doki Doki as well as a Dodo Dwarf Go-Go Glove.
Dodo Dwarf Go-Go Glove, etc.
So we're going to get Doki Doki here. That will allow us to pitch a card from our hand, special summon another rock out of the deck, just extend even further. That's what makes this deck so powerful.
Explains the hand. I would expect that this hand is full of cards that you can't summon. Otherwise, you'd probably want to get the monster effect negation in order to hedge against the Borreload, maybe prompt out the Conquistador before Victor Lee is ready. But the fact that they're just going for Doki now says, yeah, I just want the Gigas in graveyard. Negate if you have to.
And Victor is going to negate that Doki Doki with this Savage Dragon effect.
All right, so from here we can go into a Herald of our own and continue plays from there, provided we've got an extender in hand. But if we don't, I mean, this sucks.
I mean, Conquistador is the only other threat that we're cognizant of at the moment. Scarlet, we can presume, is in the back row, so that way the Conquistador actually is a threat. And then that leaves another card in the back row, too, that we are unaware of currently. Looks like we're going to get rid of this Doki Doki and one of our tuners here. Looks like we're going to go for Researcher for a copy of Needle Fiber, Howly Fibrax. We're going to see if Victor has a response for this.
So outside of the Conquistador, it'd have to be like infinite impermanence specifically. It could be Golden Land Forever, but if it's Golden Land Forever, you would already have to have a zombie on the field for that to do anything.
Could also be some other cards out of Victor's side deck as well.
Right.
Don't want to give any information until we see it, but there could be the possibility. Yep, there it is. Okay, Solemn Judgment coming out of the sideboard, going to negate the summon of that Needle Fiber for half the life. You're already out of the battle phase, so you don't have to fear death at this point, and that seems pretty good. Okay. Gigantes is fine. We saw the banishing, and we're like, oh no, here we go. But Gigantes is perfectly fine. We can go into a Raptite here, and it looks like that's exactly what we're going to do.
All right, smoke them if you've got them. On summon, if that set card is an Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine, this is the time to pop.
Yep. Could also be another Judgment, though. We saw one.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
If we negate this summon, we are completely out of cards here. Victor's taking a moment to think about it. Oh my god, does he have another? Oh my god, he does! Wow.
All right,
and now this is where you block
banishing from the graveyard for Block Dragon.
Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen. Victor Lee down to 2,000 life points here. Oh, Lightning Storm. Interesting. So this will clear the Savage Dragon. The last card in Victor Lee's back row is that Conquistador. And we're just going to set a card here from Ryan Yu. We're going to Conquistador in the end phase here. This makes sense. So then that way Victor can send it off to the graveyard by either linking it off for Link Spider or anything like that. So he can trigger the affected end phase to get a copy of Scarlet in rotation. But only a single set card and Jet Synchron off the top.
Going into Conquistador at end step got a lot better when these decks started playing Link Spider, and then got a lot worse once they started playing Auroradon because they don't have the extra space to go into something like a Link Spider, include targets for the normal trap cards. However, normal summoning the Jet Synchron basically just gets you all the way there. From here we can go into Auroradon again, we can go into 001, and if you're on any offensive 7s or 8s, that's the end of the game.
And we'll see if he is. How typically common is it that they are on the offensive 7s and 8s, Joseph? Because we haven't really seen too many of them.
Everyone start playing Quantum Dragon and Berserker. They're good cards.
They're just, again, that's why we're here and they're there, right?
Yeah. Because I keep trying to go to Quantum Dragon and getting blown out.
And so here comes Auroradon. That's going to be met with infinite impermanence.
That's fine.
It can be used again next turn, though.
And the summon of the tokens is on summon. So okay. It is unlikely they are on 3 copies of Auroradon. We are going to get in for 2100, which is a start. And we will be able to banish this copy of Conquistador end step for Scarlet Sanguine. If that set card is any piece of interaction, this is the end of the game. Adamancipator excels when it has 2 or 3 cards in hand, not so much when it has 1.
Now, of note, there is a Gigas Engrave. We are immediately just going to Scarlet here just to get this set card that we got live, and that's just it. Ryan Yu's going to scoop it up. Game 3, ladies and gentlemen. Adamancipator most likely going to be on the play here. And so here we go. Ryan Yu's all finished, and game number 3. This is it for the semifinals of the Pro Play Tour Weekend Championship. It's all going to come down to this.
I mean, this is a heck of a die roll in terms of the match. It's just going to matter if Victor has drawn enough of the huge equalizers that help resolve Adamancipator boards. If they haven't, then they haven't.
So here comes a normal summon of Doki Doki. We're going to discard Dodo Dwarf Go 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 Glove, and that will allow us to get another level 4 out of the deck. Yeah, not the most ideal start, I would say. I think it's fine, but we've definitely seen stronger for sure. Victor going to think about this. He has a slew of cards to stop this. Effect Veiler being one of them.
Yeah, so that's weird. The Doki Doki on their side of the field does turn on the Researcher, but notably, no other Adamancipator monster was on. I don't disagree with that decision.
Hitting another Doki
Doki, but only because it's the only other target. Whiffed otherwise, and that effect is a hard once per turn, so good luck.
Yeah, I mean, we have at least potentially a Needle Fiber play because we have the Tuner and Researcher. So, I mean, we have plays. This is not the end of the turn at all.
Mm-hmm. But at the very least, it'll be way less explosive than those game 1 boards.
So we're going to go ahead and link off the Researcher and the Doki Doki for we can imagine to be. Oh, we're going
Wow.
to synchro for Herald of the Arclight. Okay. Oh, this makes sense. Yes. So Adamantipator
Because
signs for the follow-up. We can bring back our Researcher, and now we can go for Needle Fiber protected by Herald of the Arclight.
No real reason to stack here because your deck's going to get shuffled. Oh, Lee thinking, did they draw DD Crow too?
Oh, that
Can
would
you
be.
DD Crow under Herald of the Arclight? You can. It's just a discard. Oh,
It doesn't say discard to grave.
I don't believe it does. I mean, we
Okay.
might just find out.
He's gonna let it go. Okay, so Researcher gonna hit the board again. Now we can go into Needle Fiber unless there's anything else. But if there's not, Victor might be kind of held off by this Herald of the Arclight being able to negate essentially anything that he might use here. We're gonna stack a copy of Researcher to the or Analyzer rather to the top of our deck.
Oh, DD Crow does have to be sent to the graveyard. Wild.
Okay, so then we can't use it under Herald of the Arclight because Herald of the Arclight also acts as a Macrocosmos. Great game. So now we're going to make our
Vidrex time. We'll fire that sucker off.
Gonna get
that
a copy.
on. Yep. And then let's get that link cross. Yes.
There's the O-Lion. Then we can link off this for link cross. Get 2 more tokens. Go into our Marching Metal Marcher.
Yep.
Pointy Arrow Machine. I love the names that Ryan has for these cards.
We've had Rock Toilet and we've had Pointy Arrow Machine, and both have been very descriptive.
So Marching Metal Marcher hits the board. We're going to bring back that O-Lion. We're going to get the token from O-Lion too.
So strong. Specifically with O-Lion, the ability to just generate tokens while you're weaving through synchro plays, moving from synchros into more synchros. It's just incredible. That's a Raptite that is treated as a tuner, so it'll be able to turn into a Savage later on in the turn.
Victor's saying think for a second here.
Another Valor?
Well, if he has Valor, I don't think you can use Valor actually because it might because of macro being up for Herald of the Arclight. But I'm trying to think of what combination of cards he could have that can play through Herald of the Arclight specifically.
Ooh, and coming in from the other match, Fetty Guap has lost.
Oh, wow.
Is going to finals.
So with Adamantipator. Yeah, so there's at least one Adamantipator in the finals. Okay, so thank you for reporting that, Joseph. So it's really going to come down to this. This is Eldritch's last life here. Victor Lee is going to let this Raptite go off. We have some targets this time. We have a Analyzer. We have a Researcher.
We have a Jet Synchron, casually.
Casually. We're going to get the Analyzer, though. We have not fired off an Analyzer effect yet, so we can excavate and dig some more.
That was pretty fortunate. That would have been a whiff on any of the Adamanticators.
The regular effect Adamanticators, yes.
Right. So Analyzer activating now. Let's see if we can get a better 5 than those ones.
Victor taking another moment to think here. I cannot help but wonder what he has.
And notably, this isn't an individual slow playing. There's 36 minutes left in game 3. I think they're going to make it.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to go to game 3 at all. I guess that's one of the benefits of playing Adamantipator, that typically I don't think your games last very long.
Yeah, like you do a 5-minute setup turn and then the game is either over or it isn't. The game's over one way or the other, I guess I would say.
Victor's still just taking some time to think here.
Oh my.
Ryan, you a bit confused as well as to what the so this is like Nibiru.
Herald really does a good job of negating it. Are there 2 of them? It's a hard once per turn.
But it's a hard once per turn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so Analyzer gonna whiff here.
What other monster effect would you want to be activating?
Well, we can't use another Nibiru. Imperm potentially. Maybe he.
It could be like a Frame Gear.
Oh, Victor's thinking here again. Actually,
I don't know what it would be. I'm so excited.
There's been a lot of the fact that you're willing to throw away a Nibiru into a Herald of the Arclight.
Like, what's more impactful than Nibiru? It's DD Crow.
DD Crow. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of Halifibrax.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that means that if we go into Savage Dragon, that we can't equip anything. Well, no, I mean we can
equip the Link Cross. Or you have to find a way to get the link cross off the field before you do that. This is treated as a tuner, right? It's going to be hard to get off the field.
So we're going to link off both the researcher and the analyzer for a union carrier here.
Okay.
Imagine this is how we're going to get to our block dragon.
Yep.
We're going to go ahead and equip that to our Raptite.
Well, now what? You can link into a 2 with Link Cross and Raptite. You could make another Halqifibrax, as it is a tuner, but we've already cycled through all of the Adamancipator effects.
There's a Weeping Idol, so there's a 2.
That's a non-tuner as well, so this is perfect fodder for the Boral Sword Savage.
Yep, so Savage Dragon comes down. Also, Block Dragon hits the graveyard here. Oh, gonna go into Dragite.
Why is that? I don't know. Oh, because there's no link in graveyard right now.
Right. I think Victor's just clarifying that Block Dragon was equipped to Raptite. We're going to use the effect of Block Dragon now. We're going to refuel our hand. Victor's asking how Raptite was a tuner. That was
how Metal Marcher works.
Right, it was Metal Marcher. So Martial Metal Marcher, one of the newest cards that it's not a new card, but it's a newly used card.
Yeah, this is weird. Yeah, go ahead.
A synchro monster that used this card as synchro material is treated as a tuner while it is face up on the field. So Raptite was a level 6 tuner, Weeping Idol was a level 2 non-tuner, and that was able to make the level 8 Dragite.
So the weird part here is that the DD Crow activation targeting the Link monster in graveyard, I didn't think it was very good, but the Link Cross is actually pretty hard to get off the field without one additional extender. So it's forced them into this Spell Trap Negator instead of the Omni Negate that is Borreload's Savage Dragon.
They're talking in the chat. I'm not sure what the issue is here. Victor...
explaining how Martial Metal Marcher works.
Yeah. As I just read off in chat, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, I don't know. There are specific Eldritch hands that would do okay with this.
Yes. If this is like, to be fair though, Victor's also only on 3 cards when he draws for turn. He had a Crow, a Nibiru, and a Valor in his hand, so he doesn't have a lot to work with here.
One of those cards is Jet Synchron. You probably just win the game.
Right. Victor is asking where on Marching Metal Marcher it says that it makes it a tuner. Oh my god. The last piece of text on Martial Metal Marcher states, a synchro monster that uses card as synchro material is treated as a tuner while face up on the field. And
yeah, Ryan, because it is a non-tuner. You know, you read that card and you go, "Oh, they're playing it as an extra 2 tuner." No, they actually need 2 stars that aren't attached to a tuner because of Metal Marcher combos.
It's also funny with Weeping Idol because you banish a tuner to summon it. So, like, you might think that it itself is a tuner, but it's not.
No, it's the anti-tuner.
Okay, so Victor now seeing Martial Metal Marcher's text, and now he's saying, you're fine, go ahead. So Block Dragon going to resolve. We're going to add a copy of Seeker, a Gigantes, and maybe a Researcher just for next turn. I believe we've exhausted all of our Adamancipator effects at this point.
I don't think we summoned the Seeker. Ooh, apparently we haven't activated the effect of Seeker.
Didn't we use Seeker? Oh, I guess not. Okay. So we still have that then. Victor thinking again. What does he has to have another hand trap? Like that's insane.
Are you kidding me?
4 hand is it 4 hand traps and Jet Synchron? Because like that could be like the best case outcome. Victor clarifying if everything else has been used at this point. Okay, so Ryan Yu has not used Seeker yet.
Mm-hmm.
And he's clarifying what he searched. Victor probably just trying to make sure that he, if he does have another hand trap, he's trying to make sure that he uses it at the right time here. This is going to fire and hits the Gigas here.
So Gigas very important because there's a Dodo Dwarf Go Glove in the graveyard, and That just enables just about anything you could want. From here, you can go into a rank 4.
So we're going to use the Dodo Go Glove, resurrect it. Now we have rank 4 access here potentially.
Wow. Yeah. And this has just been turned on its head by such an amazing hit after a series of miserable whiffs.
I was about to say, like, I don't think we've seen more heinous excavations since, like, maybe the top 16 feature match.
Yeah. Oh, linking away the Speaker and the Dre Guide for a copy of Masquerena. I think we're going into Abyss Dweller here.
Dweller.
And we'll bring back the Block Dragon for the Masquerena activation. Oh, not even that. Just passing on this board.
Interesting. Okay.
This might be good enough. Victor Lee says, that's a weak board, LMFAO. But, like, is it enough on a 3-card hand? Yeah, exactly. That's a weak hand.
Ryan, you responding, that's a weak hand. Yeah, and so you have what? A Unicorn activation and a Dweller.
Mm-hmm.
And Victor just has 3 cards to work with here. All the Eldritch cards are effectively turned off for the turn because of Dweller being active.
We can maybe, like, Cursed Eldland would do something. Jet Synchron would be an incredible normal summon, but would probably be just, like, immediately met with a Nightmare Unicorn.
The only thing that Jet Synchron doesn't, aside from being met with Masquerena, is that the O-Lion tokens wouldn't be able to be summoned, correct? Because if the O-Lions hit the graveyard at any point in the combo, they just wouldn't trigger.
Oh.
So
and you can't activate the effect of Jet Synchron in graveyard. Yeah, that's a good point.
That too, right. So going to battle phase here, does Victor have evenly?
Well, deciding real quick if you want to Masquerena. Ryan says, sure, you don't.
Ryan, you say you don't have it.
And battle phase.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Ryan says go for it. The suspense.
Oh,
he's setting a card. This is like one of the most like dramatic reveals of an evenly match.
It's infip. Yep.
Okay, it's
Masquerena in the battle phase, so it can't activate its effect in response.
Pretty heads up. I mean, at least now that that's turned off, you don't have to worry about if you do have. Well, again, even if you have Jet Synchron, it's not even that good.
As much of a funny bluff as that was, it's also probably optimal. Like, you want to potentially force out the Masquerena, and then afterwards, when it's revealed that they're not going to fall for the bluff, you can negate the IP at a time when it can't tag out for the remainder of the turn. The rough part is the rest of the hand sucks. It's just 2 spell and trap cards. Yeah. Even if those get everything under the sun, I don't think they'll be able to beat the board that Ryan is about to make.
I'm trying to think of what 2 cards specifically get you out of this particular situation. I mean, like, you would need what? Like Scarlet plus any Golden Land trap, and like even then, that might not even be enough.
Yeah.
To see a Nightmare Phoenix get made here. We're gonna also have the Phoenix chain blocking. Ryan, you also had Lancia in hand, by the way. So like, just even if Victor
casually discards it.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna see Conquistador used in response here, and then a Scarlet. Okay,
best 2 it could have been, but still probably will not be enough.
Yeah, pretty lackluster. So we're gonna see Scarlet bring out that copy of Golden Lord. Conquistador will resolve before the Phoenix takes care of it. So what do you go after here? I mean, Dweller's out of material, so like that's irrelevant at this point. Maybe just go after Okay, one of the link 2s. So Masquerena being the one that actually something, because Phoenix has essentially already been expended at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Even then, this isn't even really that good, because then you can just make like Unicorn, shuffle away Golden Lord back into the deck, and Dweller, nothing's going to trigger during the end phase, and Ryan can just potentially put lethal damage on board. We know he has what in hand? Gigantes and Researcher from the Black Dragon last turn.
Yeah.
Going to go for Nightmare Phoenix.
That's fine.
Yeah, either of the link 2s, I think, is the only thing that matters at this point.
Oof.
And so now we get to trigger Black Dragon again. And so, yeah, this is this should represent the end of the game, I'm sure.
So as you expected, I think we're going to go into a unicorn here. Tuck that sucker.
Yep. Gonna
Discard
get rid of Golden Lord.
Normaling the analyzer does it.
Yep, we have Analyzer, we have Seeker, we have Researcher, we have all three of the cards. We have Gigantes Engrave for another card as well. Block Dragon can also just come back. This is surely the end of the game.
Yeah, this is a big hit. Wow, and it looks like we're about to walk our way to an Adamancipator Finals.
Yep. And so that's it. YuGiOh is going to advance. Adamancipator Finals for the last match. I don't think we've casted an Adamancipator Mirror all weekend, as a matter of fact. I think we wanted to save it for Top Cut specifically because we knew
we've done basically everything we can to avoid it. Yeah.
Yeah, essentially. So we'll have to see. One of the two Adamancipator decks, though, is a little bit interesting. So we'll have to talk about that when we get there. Guys, we'll be right back with the finals since this was the last match. So don't go anywhere. One winner will be crowned.
Hey, everyone.